Alright, so in the interest of dispelling any kind of clickbaitiness with the title, I want to make something abundantly clear. Last year, and for most of this year, before the Fold 7 came out, my SIM card was in my Galaxy Fold 6 predominantly, we'll say like 75% of the year, so about 274 days. The other 5%, 7.5%, 10% of the year are when I'm giving fair shakes to other devices like iPhone 16 Pro Max that I purchased with my own hard-earned money, and also the OnePlus Pixel devices. Those are getting like 21 days to maybe a month of dedicated SIM card time from me, so I can give them a fair shake, a fair review, and based on how much I'm actually like enjoying the phone, how much I feel like I've pretty much covered all the bases that I possibly can. And then after that, my SIM card goes right back into the Fold 6. And since the Fold 7's been out, my SIM card just keeps on going right back into the Fold 7. But what I can say is that this year, this is the first iPhone that I can remember in a really, really long time that I've put my SIM card into, and I'm not super duper urged to take my SIM card out and put it back into the Fold 7. One of the big things that I'm really into on this channel when I'm reviewing phones are what are the tangible and practical features that actually matter and help you on a day-to-day basis, that actually make a difference. And here, with the iPhone 17 Pro Max, there are actually quite a number of those things, and I wasn't expecting to like the iPhone 17 Pro Max as much as I have been. So in this video, I'm gonna break down for you guys all of the things that I've really been loving about the iPhone 17 Pro Max, the things that I think might make a difference in your day-to-day life. And so the parts of this phone that aren't quite tickling me the way that I like to be tickled, but we're gonna break all those things down. So if you guys are new here, my name is Dave, and this is where tech meets lifestyle. Now, in terms of feel in the hand, I for sure prefer the way the 17 Pro Max feels over my iPhone 16 Pro Max. I prefer the way that this feels over the Galaxy S25 Ultra. The way it kind of just like curves into your finger joints, into the palms of your hand. As a whole, I just love the way this feels from top to bottom over a lot of the other phones that I've used over this last year. I feel like Apple really, really nailed this. When I had my buddy Dave compare the iPhone 17 Pro Max and the 25 Ultra in the hand, he's an iPhone user. He thought that the 25 Ultra felt better. If you ask me, I think this just feels better in the hand on a day-to-day basis. I mean, the aluminum body, the silver color, the camera bar, in terms of being photogenic and, you know, filming for YouTube and stuff, and like filming the backside of this phone just takes amazing back shots. That's a super subjective quality, but if you ask me personally, I am loving everything about the way that the 17 Pro Max looks and feels. So one of the things actually that I don't think should make or break a phone experience for you, in my personal opinion, I think like the tangible, graspable features should matter more. But something that is nice is like the social element of iPhones. Like whenever iPhone season comes around, I put my SIM card into the brand new iPhone and I'm texting my family members and friends. Without fail, they're all super excited that I'm hashtag Team Blue Bubble now. Being able to play the iMessage games, the ease of just, you know, tapping FaceTime and, you know, being able to FaceTime a family member or friend, even though it's actually pretty easy now on Android devices. However, there is like a magical, cohesive social element to owning an iPhone that I actually do like a lot. I personally would take like the robust feature sets of different things over the social element, but I can't lie, it is pretty nice. Now, surprisingly, speaker-wise, you'd expect for the 17 Pro Max, I suppose like by traditional logic, to be like louder and clearer. The 16 Pro Max is actually the louder of the two phones on the higher ends. What I can say is that the 17 Pro Max speakers sound clearer when there are more of those high elements kind of like being pushed out of the speakers. And I think there's also like slightly deeper bass on the 17 Pro Max, but loudness wise, it goes to the 16 Pro Max, maybe surprisingly. Now, one of my absolute favorite upgrades for sure on the 17 Pro Max over the 16 Pro Max is not only the improved resolution that you're getting out of the selfie cameras, but also the center stage experience as a whole. Being able to flip over to the selfie camera and it's going to automatically zoom and rotate for you so that way you have the best orientation for taking a picture by yourself or with a group of people, and being able to use the entire sensor and switch to landscape without having to actually rotate your phone is a huge plus. And For me, I feel like for most average consumers, this is the feature that is going to get the most play on a day-to-day basis when you're with family members and friends. This is like a really nice, tangible upgrade that honestly, even though I'm more of an Android guy, I would really love to see be implemented on the next Galaxy Ultra phone, the next Galaxy folding phone, even though you can flip the folding phone to have the backwards orientation and that's a bit better, and get the primary back sensor quality for selfies, which is objectively better. This is a bit more convenient, and I can say if you're coming from a 16 Pro Max, that's a feature that I feel pretty confident most of you guys are really going to love. Another really big thing is someone who loved the Fold 6 and really loves the Fold 7 is just how amazing the battery life is here on the iPhone 17 Pro Max. This is a phone, flat out, I can take off the charger at like 7:30 in the morning, and there are absolutely zero concerns that it's not going to make it to the end of the day. I've had pretty consistently like 9 to 9.5+ hours worth of screen on time out of this when I'm on like those really heavy use days for watching YouTube videos, texting family and friends, the football group chat, go Birds, taking pictures, FaceTiming family members and friends, playing those iMessage games. This thing is just flat out a beast. And then the days that I am not using this heavily, there's absolutely no worry at all. Yeah, the battery life on this has been amazing. I wish the battery on my Fold 7 was this good, but we're just not quite there yet. And as a whole, if you're someone that wants a reliable battery that's going to get you through every single day without any battery anxiety, this is the one. Personally, I think for most people have access to a wall charger, power bank, or some kind of charging solution in their car at their desk on average throughout the week. And so it's probably not a huge concern, but if you're someone that absolutely needs or wants that, battery champ right here. Now, in terms of cameras, this is something that I've really loved. I mean, that 48 megapixel telephoto camera that you have at the 4x and 8x zoom capabilities look absolutely amazing. What I can say is that you are getting a noticeable improvement for sure over the iPhone 16 Pro Max and those zoom capabilities. Though when you're looking at it compared to say like the Galaxy S25 Ultra, depending on the circumstance, the iPhone 17 Pro Max can look a little bit better, but usually because of the way that Samsung kind of handles its processing, dials in some of the contrast and things like that, what you're going to find is that the Galaxy S25 Ultra and those zoom photos seems to produce the better looking image a bit more of the time than the 17 Pro Max does. But the 17 Pro Max, you're getting amazing camera quality from the ultra wide shots, the point and shoot shots at 1x, and the selfie video here, the 18 megapixel camera that you're getting, long format video looks good. And the only thing really that I wish we had here is 8K video quality like you have on your Galaxy Fold 7, your Galaxy S25 Ultra. That's not just a gimmick, that's something that's really feasibly helpful. If you're looking to record something, want to crop in, not have so many pixels populating your screen, and have a good, nice image. One of the things I love about the iPhone 17 Pro Max as well is that new display is a 3000 peak nit brightness, which is great for actual ease of use outdoors. Even when there's like a bright blue sky day, the sun's beaming right overhead, and alongside that maximum nit brightness, you're also getting that anti-reflective coating on the front side. And although it's not quite as good as the 25 Ultra in terms of actually like shaving off the harshness of those light sources bouncing off your screen, what I can say is that there is a tangible difference here using this outdoors than using the iPhone 16 outdoors. That's one of those things that on a day-to-day basis you're going to notice, especially during the primary 3 months, right? If you're outside during spring, summer, or fall, and you're getting the sun directly overhead, usability-wise, big upgrade. And all in all, honestly, I was not expecting to like the iPhone 17 Pro Max as much as I have been. This is like, yeah, just flat out my favorite iPhone I've personally used in years. They've done a lot really right here. Ultimately, however, this is still not enough to make me not have my SIM card in my folding phone every single day with the host of different tangible, flexible, practical features and in the ways that I can use my folding device. And also it being Android, there are just other benefits that come along with that as well. But as a whole, if you are looking for a powerhouse phone with tangible upgrades this year, 25 Ultra and the iPhone 17 Pro Max, I feel like are the phones that are going to appeal to the most people just because of their more familiar form factor and the robust amount of, again, practical feature sets that they bring to the table on a day-to-day basis. This is definitely going to be one of those options. If you're asking me personally if I would choose this or the 25 Ultra, you're going to have to watch the dedicated comparison review video that I did on both of these to get a more nuanced understanding of why I feel the way I do about each of these devices. But ultimately, they're both great. But if you guys have any other questions, let me know in the comment section down below. I wish you a fantastic remainder of your day. And as always, peace, love, adios, bye guys, and have a great day.